last couple of days, whether it's the state level, the local level, city level, county level. They've implored everyone, and we would echo that, request. Please, please, please stay home this weekend. The opportunity to get out and drive. It's going to be wet on Saturday. Could be some ice on Sunday, likely. Please stay off the roads. Our crews will be out there in case there's any damage. We want them to be safe. We want you to be safe. So please only travel if absolutely necessary. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Matt, our chief meteorologist.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Keith, and thanks for coming out. Obviously, it's been an interesting week from a meteorologist perspective, trying to wrangle this storm and come up with a good forecast to help us optimize our preparation and planning for our customers. So right now, as the day has gone on today, we've been watching new model data come in, and everything's pretty much held steady state. We are still expecting some ice in the Houston area. What we've been communicating internally is around 1/10 of an inch on average with higher amounts. With these types of winter systems, obviously you can get a potpourri of precipitation, which can fall as rain, freezing rain, and sleet, sometimes simultaneously from neighborhood to neighborhood. And so that's kind of what we're trying to focus in on right now. And sort of the message that we've sent is, yes, about 1/10 of an inch of ice from Houston north and west, but there could be some areas that see some sleet. There could be some areas that see maybe up to 2/10 of an inch of ice. And those would be kind of more into the neighborhood level. And so as we go through our planning and preparation, this is kind of what the information that we're trying to provide to everybody on the team to help optimize this everything as we go through the storm. So again, as Keith alluded to, if you can stay off the roads, please do, particularly going into later tomorrow night and Sunday morning when we do expect the ice across parts of the area, again, particularly off to the north and west of Houston, getting up into northwest Harris County, Montgomery County, Waller County. Those areas will be probably the most significantly impacted by the ice on roads, and that will continue into Sunday morning. And then as we get into Sunday afternoon, conditions should begin to clear up. Hopefully we can get temperatures around freezing, maybe a degree or two warmer. That would be great. And we can hopefully melt some of the ice off. However, as you go into Sunday night, just be aware that temperatures are going to drop back well below freezing. That will be our hard freeze Sunday night into Monday morning, when we expect temperatures down into the 20s. And some wind gusts, perhaps even up to 30 miles an hour, which will make wind chills down into the teens or even single digits across the area. A few locations could get into the teens for actual temperatures as well on Monday morning. We do expect things to kind of continue to warm up a little bit Monday afternoon, getting up above freezing, and then Tuesday, conditions should even improve a good bit more, getting well above freezing. And again, just kind of, I want to just make sure we're alluding this, and the obvious comparison for most Texans is Winter Storm Uri in 2021. And we continue to expect that temperatures, particularly the duration of the cold, is much, much, much shorter and more in line with some of the other cold events that we've seen over the last couple of years, which are certainly no less impactful. Obviously, you want to make sure you're protecting your plants, pipes, pets, people, but we've gotten through those events fairly durably. So that is kind of what we're hopefully expecting with this one as well. So with more to talk about our preparation, I'm going to turn over to Nathan.
Thanks, Matt. I'm Nathan Brownell. I am the Vice President of Resiliency for CenterPoint Energy. So today, just want to talk to you all about our preparations effort for here in Houston for our electric. As we talked about yesterday, we activated our Emergency Operations Center on Tuesday. We've assembled an army of resources of 3,300 folks that are scattered across our footprint, and they're actively working to prepare for this winter event this weekend. And so those resources today, they're out doing extended vegetation trimming. They're continuing to look at our critical infrastructure like substations, poles, other areas to make sure everything's ready to go. Our focus is on the customer. We want to make sure that our system's prepared, we're prepared, and we're going to respond as quickly and safely as possible. One thing I do want to note, yesterday I shared that we had 3 staging sites across our area. We've reduced that to 2, but we haven't reduced any of the folks here. So what we've done is we've shifted those resources from the southern half to the northern half. So as Matt had shared, the damage that we're predicting is starting to shift more to the northern side. And so by moving those resources to the northern half, it's really customer focused. This is going to allow the ability for us to respond quicker and more safely to our customers, more rapid response for our customers. Now, I want to talk about the damage prediction modeling. So using Matt's kind of estimation of the meteorology, we're also looking at historical data. We can start getting an understanding of what type of impact we're going to see from this type of winter event. Based off of our estimates, you're going to see a similar type of event from the 2018 winter storm. And so that's kind of how we're preparing, how we're marching down to be able to respond to. I want our customers feel confident that we are prepared. And so we've got almost 10,000 poles pre-stationed across the Houston footprint, almost 12,000 transformers, and 100,000 splices. So splices, these are the types of devices that are really going to help us connect the wires together. So if you see wires that end up in the ground, these splices help connect them, get the wire back up. And so what could customers expect from sort of damage? Really going to be a result of the icing. So as ice gets onto those trees, and if any vegetation comes down, it may take down those lines. So one thing I want to remind our customers, if they do see a down power line, please let us know. Don't approach it. It could be energized, so it's a risk there. The one thing I want to remind our customers is we're working very diligently. We are prepared. So our customers are at the forefront of everything we're trying to do. If you have an outage, just rest assured we're going to be working 24/7 to get all customers back on as safely and quickly as possible. With that, I want to turn it over to Steffi Howard, our Customer Excellence Officer.
Thanks, Nathan. Stephanie Howard, Vice President for Customer Experience here at CenterPoint Energy. I really wanted to start by just connecting for everyone here the importance of the customer and the customer experience. You heard Nathan talk a lot about our operational preparation, but we're doing just as much preparation to try to ensure that our customers know what to expect, that they're prepared, and that we're communicating with them throughout the course of this event. We have already issued approximately 2.7 million contacts and communications to customers via email, phone, or text message. We've also tried to really focus in on our most vulnerable customers by completing over 2,600 phone calls to our critical and chronic care customers who need the most notice. They need to be prepared. They need to understand what resources might be available to them via 211, via Texas Steer, or other types of agencies that might be able to assist them should they encounter an outage or need resources during a cold weather event. We have also more than doubled the contact center staff so that we were prepared to answer calls from customers throughout this event. Our current wait times on our electric queues are currently less than 2 minutes. So we are online, ready to respond and ready to answer should you encounter an outage and need to reach out to us. Also, want to make sure that everyone is aware of our Power Alert service. We want to make sure that you know how you can sign up. If you have an opportunity, go to centerpointenergy.com/Power Alert service. It's really easy to register. You can sign up to 15 different contacts to make sure that everyone in your household is informed. If you have elderly parents, you have children, you want to understand what's going on at their properties, they can include you as well in their Power Alert service registration. So let's make sure that everyone stays informed throughout this event. This Power Alert service communication, you will get blast communications where we make sure that we're communicating general information throughout the storm, but you'll also get those one-to-one communications. Should you encounter an outage, this is where we're going to communicate directly to you what your estimated time of restoration is, what the status of your power in your home is, and really get the most detailed information here. So please be sure that you sign up. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Richard Leger, our gas operations leader.
Thank you, Stephanie. My name is Richard Leger, and I lead our gas business. I want to say that our team is prepared, and we are here for our more than 1.2 million customers that we have in our Texas natural gas service territory. We have more than 700 employees who are safety focused and customer forward and ready to respond. Additionally, we are continuing to monitor our above-ground equipment and make sure that it's ready to go and protect it from any weather impacts that may happen. And additionally, since yesterday, we've increased our compressed natural gas resources that are in the field. So what does that mean? We have 17 compressed natural gas trailers that are strategically located across the system. Think about this as a mobile pipeline. This is an additional supply that we can take and we can inject supply into the system should we need it to deliver gas for our natural gas customers. On top of that 17, we have another 10 that are available that we can strategically deploy should we need. All in all, we are here, we are ready, and we're ready to respond for our 1.2 million customers that we have the privilege to serve. Thank you, and with that, I will turn it over to Keith Stevens.
Thank you, Richard, and thanks to the rest of the team for those updates. I just have a couple of final things to cover, and that's, coming out of 2024, we heard the calls loud and clear that you wanted, as our customers and public, to know more from CenterPoint about what's going on in advance of storms, in advance of different types of weather events, what's going on during and then after. We're committed to doing that. Matt noted that he's been tracking this weather for a week. We've been working closely with him. You started seeing communications from us on Tuesday. Yesterday on Thursday, we started our daily operations briefs, which we're at here today, and those will continue on through the duration of however long it takes for us to get all of our customers back. So you can look for us to be issuing news releases. You can find out news through the information through the news media. You can look for us on our own website, our social channels. We're updating several times a day to make sure that you have the latest and greatest from us when it comes to the storm preparations we're making for this storm. And then finally, I would just offer that should there be outages, we know that there's going to be ice, we know there's going to be rain. We know that, Houston has one of the densest urban tree canopies in the entire country. There may be trees that come down, there may be limbs that come down. We've had some freezes in the last few years, we've had some drought. All of that stresses out our trees. If you want to find out what's going on at your residence, you can log on to centerpointenergy.com/outage tracker to find out the best and most up-to-date information about your residence or what's going on in your zip code. And the new opportunity for you, should you see downed equipment, should you see a problem with something related to CenterPoint, you can take a picture of it using the outage tracker. You can submit it to us, and we will send a crew out to look at it to see what's going on and if it needs repair. So please use that. That's a new feature that we have on our outage tracker. And so with that, I'm going to invite my colleagues back up here to be here at the podium so we can be close by. And then we'll turn to anybody in the audience who might have any questions. Any of our media who are here with us, do you have any questions for us?
We've been obviously tracking the weather as well. I guess this is more for a meteorologist question, but from yesterday to today, have you seen it kind of shift? And is the risk lower? Is the risk higher? What can Houstonians expect?
Matt, go for it.
Yeah, obviously with winter storms, they're very complicated and they do change quite frequently. We've seen the forecast shift around a little bit since yesterday. When you're looking at a suite of weather models, you've got some that are like, we're not going to get any ice at all, and others that are like, hey, we might get up to 0.2 of an inch. And I think our posture has generally been to be realistic with the forecast and communicate that, but also communicate the risk. That's really what I've been trying to do, and we've been trying to do as a team to everybody across the company that needs to make decisions. Is like, okay, this is what we expect, but here are the risks. And those risks, still are around the 10th to a quarter of an inch of ice in the northwest part of our territory. So, yes, things look maybe a little bit better today than they did 24 hours ago. But, I've done this long enough to know that this can change quickly, and we're going to continue to monitor throughout the storm and update as needed.
Now, for anyone that's watching on our live stream, anyone that will be watching tomorrow, I know we're letting people know stay indoors sometime around the evening time going into Sunday and then Sunday night going into Monday. But for anyone that's watching, is there anything that we need to just emphasize? Should they take this seriously? You, on a meteorologist standpoint, obviously you're tracking the forecast. Again, just that message that you want, like the viewers, the people, the Houstonians to know.
Yeah, I mean, just to reiterate, stay off the roads on Sunday if you can. We've been saying that, not just for everybody else's safety, but also the safety of our crews that'll be out so they can respond quickly and safely. Just be prepared to maybe be indoors for a little bit. Obviously, schools were very proactive today and closing for Monday for the cold as well. Prepare for disrupted travel on Sunday and the cold on Monday. Did you want to add anything else?
I would just add one other thing, and that is, oftentimes, whether there's ice out there or not, we have a lot of opportunities where, cars in Houston travel very fast. They also come in contact with power poles and other parts of our infrastructure. Those two things don't mix, and it's especially bad when there's ice and water out there. We're going to have a fair amount of water tomorrow, Matt, correct? We're likely to have some ice in places on Sunday. So please, please, please stay off the roads. If you don't have to drive, please don't, because our infrastructure and cars do not make a good mix. We want to make sure everybody out there is safe. We're always focused on our customers. We want them to be safe and warm. Please stay home this weekend, watch some football, enjoy yourself, and let our crews be out there doing the work that they need to do.
For anyone that's CenterPoint Energy customer, anything specific that they need to be doing to kind of help this out?
Great question. I know Stephanie covered a lot about our customers. We are focused on making sure they have the right information that they need to make decisions. Really, it's what you hear from the weather folks and others. It's the 4 Ps. It's people, and that's where we're focused first. Is people, our customers. We want to make sure they have the lights on. It's plants, it's pets, and it's pipes, right? And so take care of your water pipes and make sure our own infrastructure. We don't want cars coming in to impact with our infrastructure, because all that's going to do is take out power lines, which means loss of power for people in that neighborhood. So anything we can do to avoid any type of impact to our infrastructure over the weekend, whether it's cars, trucks, whatever, we want to make sure that happens.
One more question.
Sure.
Hopefully I'm not thinking. A lot of us are pulling 12-plus hour shifts here.
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Okay, and y'all are probably doing the same thing. Just touching a little bit more on your crew members. What are the shifts looking like now?
Sure.
Can you talk a little bit about
I'd be happy to. Nathan, you want to cover that? What our electric crews are going to be doing? Yeah.
So since we've started our emergency operations plan, they have been working normal hours right now. As we get closer to the weather, they'll go extended hours, usually working 6 to 10 p.m. Then we have a light crew at night that does more damage assessment, at getting the plate ready for the next morning's workload. And so that will start here tomorrow, and it'll carry on to the rest of the storm is restored.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
My question is, being that we're a very multicultural city, a lot of times everything's pretty much in English and Spanish. What about some of our Asian community, people who speak other first languages? How is this information getting to them so they can be just as aware as your English and Spanish speakers?
That's a great question. I would love to be able to address that a little bit more. Certainly we have our information in English and Spanish, and we do need to do a better job of making sure that we have other languages available for our diverse population. So happy to take that on as some feedback, so thank you for that. Any other questions? All right, so tomorrow we will have the same kind of plan. We'll be here at 5 o'clock. Pending what the city and county do. We don't want to interfere with their briefings. We were actually there. We had our chief operating officer with Mayor Whitmire this afternoon for his briefing. We're there supporting. We're also in our OEMs, or Office of Emergency Management. We have CenterPoint personnel that are co-located with them to make sure that they have the best information, make sure that we're communicating the needs back and forth. So absolutely, we will be here tomorrow at 5 o'clock for the next update. So thank you. Please be safe. I know you all are working long hours too, so make sure you're taking time for yourselves as well. Thank you.